Time to get interactive. Hey, you're here.
I am.
You look, what's that? Beads or stones or
Yeah.
rubies or pearls or whatever.
Okay, now I suddenly feel like I'm being transported back into the Bible. But no.
But I'm probing you. You don't want to be probed.
No,
right.
I don't like
So
being probed.
what's on social media?
Well, we're still striking as teachers threaten to join the foray, and the Ghana Health Service is recalling all retired personnel. What's the reaction from government?
Any agreements that are reached in respect of allowances or conditions of services would have to be appropriately captured in the budget. And I want to say for emphasis that I will not authorize any expenditure on wages and compensation not provided for in the budget.
Wow. Okay, well, we have 40 years to make a dream come true. But do you think we can make it?
I believe if we change our lifestyle, this 40-year development plan, we can even use 10 years to do it. And it will work out like Malaysia and co.
And another award-winning Joy News documentary gets results. At least we like to think so. My name is Jennifer Jane Asante. So join us via Facebook. That's how you can find us on Facebook. It's facebook.com/Joy News on TV. On Twitter, you can find us with Joy News on TV as well. The hashtag is JNInteractiveGH. Our email address is joynewsim@multitvworld.com, and our WhatsApp line is 0560-800,000. That's 0560-8000 and another 00. Why don't you just take a 1 to 2 minute video or maybe pictures on an issue of concern to you and your community and send it to our various social media sites. That's why I just gave you all the various ways you can be a part of this program. By sending us the things that you want to talk about, it's one other way you can be a part of our show with your own stories. So why don't we start with the stories we have prepared for you tonight. The Ghana Health Service is calling in all retired doctors and those in private hospitals to help handle emergency cases at public health facilities across the country, even as doctors intensify their strike tomorrow. The Ghana Medical Association says it will abandon the emergency units as it piles pressure on government for better conditions of service. Why don't we see what comments you have coming through on that? Because there's a lot more coming up on the issue. So we'll check it out on Facebook. Oh, and we have the issue on My Joy Online as well, so you can check it out there and talk to us. But the Teachers and Education Workers Union, that's TEU, seem to have picked a cue from the striking doctors, as the association has warned that it might be forced to take drastic measures, including a nationwide strike if their own conditions of service issues are not resolved by government soon. The teachers at Ghana's public schools have accused government of deliberately delaying negotiations of their conditions of service, which expired some 5 years ago. So I'll be taking the comments on both issues. Why don't we start with the retired doctors who are coming back to work, hopefully. So Facebook, and we put that up there. Maxwell Afrifa says, please, please, and please tell the doctors to have mercy on the poor, sick citizens who are the victims of this government's irresponsible response to the doctors' problems. And he goes on and on. Obing Fofie says, finally, they should resign for the nation to know that we don't have doctors. The doctors behave like a child who is crying for dollnut. Which one is dollnut? Okay. Felix says, there is no war yet in Ghana, and the government NDC activists have started calling the services of retired medical doctors, all due to the bankrupt leadership of the NDC. And he's giving advice to negotiate. Chris says, what is the withdrawal for please just resign so that we know we have no doctors. I'll pick one more and switch to WhatsApp. Fatal Salao says the government that made millions of Ghanaians vote for them cannot make doctors stop striking. That's interesting. So let's take a look at the comments coming in via WhatsApp on that same issue. It says the government should be careful and handle the doctors' issue very well and stop the arrogant attitude from government. And it's coming from Sami in Akosumbo. Then I have Oti entry from Agona saying, retired doctors, when the beard of your colleague is burning. He doesn't continue, but I am guessing a word to the wise is enough. James Seshi says, you thank them for coming back. And I'll pick one more and move on to doctors. Roger from Tamale says, I think it's a good plan by the Ghana Health Service. So what about the teachers who are threatening to go on strike? It's actually the Teaching Education Workers Union. And Albert says, strike everywhere. It's left with the government to also go on strike. Oh, that would be something, wouldn't it? And Albert Oting says, hey, amazing Ghana. One sector starts the drum, the others join in beating it harder. Give employees the 8 working conditions and don't employ people teachers. And any junk who wants to be a teacher after completing teacher training. And he continues, but I can't. So I'll move on to Christopher. Although Albert seems to have started a conversation that he has 4 replies, you can do the same when you get to our page. So Christopher says, shame, teacher unions. How can you intend to embark on a strike while schools are on break? Shame, shame. All right. Mutala says, Ghana workers deserve more working conditions than they are getting. This is because we have more than enough resources in the country. So I don't understand why Ghanaians must strike before our conditions of service be granted. I am taking off on Mutala's comment there and telling you that the teachers that is still going on strike might not be the smartest move. As President John Mahama has said, he will not authorize any payment outside of what is contained in the 2015 budget and has been approved by Parliament. He even said he's willing to hold the line, irrespective of the political cost that he may have to pay for.
Just yesterday, a friend was urging me to intervene and accede to the demand of the doctors. After all, there are only 2,800 of them, he told me. What he fails to realize is that there are 598,000 other public sector workers organized in 11 other professional groups, lined up and just waiting to see what the doctors come away with from the negotiating table before they put in their own demands. Ladies and gentlemen, this will adversely affect the single spine pay policy and could result in breaking the spine. A lot of effort has gone into implementing this new universal public service salary structure, and nothing should be done to derail it. Ironically, I'll say that if this spinal cord should break, it must not be at the hands of a group whose principal calling is rather to heal. The right to negotiate by professional groups is sacrosanct, and I believe that government and the medical officers must continue the dialogue on conditions of service to arrive at an amicable resolution in an atmosphere that is devoid of coercion. Currently, other negotiations are ongoing on other categories of allowances at the Public Services Joint Negotiating Committee. Any agreements that are reached in respect of allowances or conditions of services would have to be appropriately captured in the budget. And I want to say for emphasis that I will not authorize any expenditure on wages and compensation not provided for in the budget.
All right, so I'm stepping into our WhatsApp group and I have Kent in Hohoe saying, can't Satan just apologize to God so we go back to the Garden of Eden to stay there naked? Clothes are very expensive. Now that is a proverb coming from Kent in Hohoe. I thought it was rather smart. So people have been commenting on the issue, what President Mahama said, and reacted to the doctors. So let's find out.
What the president is saying is wrong, because it can be that the nurses can stop the work. If they stop the work too, the sickness, we are going to be some way. So the Mahama has to be pay them.
Yeah, I think it's not the best answer, because if doctors are on strike, you know, in a way to affect productivity, teachers will go to the hospital, other workers will go to the hospital, and if they are not there, they'll come down. So their systems will be down, and probably it will reduce, the labor force.
The president, to me, shouldn't have said that. He should have probably sit them down, talk to them, and see how best he's going to go about it. In a way, I think they are demanding too much, but then they need to be talked to. They are humans.
The economy too, it has got its limit. So when there is these situations arising, there's a need for government and the doctors to sit and negotiate. I will say that at least what the government said may not be the right thing.
The president saying that is not quite very pleasant from him, because these are the people who really help the country in development. Because if the doctors go on strike, there's no one going to help us cure the sick.
I think that's not the best thing he was supposed to do, because the Bible itself says those who work are supposed to be paid.
It's not right. He should pay them because they've done a service. And the problem should be solved once and for all, because every year we are hearing the same thing. Nothing is changing.
Wow. Okay, so people are going off on this. Let's see what is happening on Facebook. Oh, right behind me. So, Kwesi Entry says, as a Ghanaian, I think that the president is right, and therefore we should support him to uphold this discipline. After all, the gains come to benefit we Ghanaians. Also, I urge you to suspend their salaries until they return to work. If every Ghanaian worker starts making high demands, the economy suffers. Hashtag no work, no pay. He has started a conversation there. I think everybody on this particular comment has started conversation, so you can contribute there. Robert Asieri says, if our politicians, including the president, complain about hard times, which is true without a doubt, why don't they begin to give good examples by reducing their own salaries and benefits? It's only then that we can ask doctors to fly down. And Obin Carl thinks that he has nothing, hashtag, really to say. And the whole world testifies to his poor governance. Oh dear. Lottie Jones says the president and secretary of the Greedy Medical Association will resign today. And he continues there. And Fatai Salau says what the doctors are asking for seems to be outside their unpaid salaries, which is outside the budget according to the president. And he continues. As I said, everybody is going off on this, especially on Twitter. So, what are the people saying, Lord?
So some Ghanaians have been responding to the president's reaction to the doctor strike on Twitter. First one is from Betty Kankam Bwedu, and okay, she's actually tweeting something from Post. It says, Pres Mahama takes dead goat syndrome poster to doctor strike. Okay, and this is Alaji One who tweets at Abekulito. In other words, Ghanaians can keep on dying. IDGAF. I wouldn't want to spell that out. And was actually in response to tweets earlier on the president's statement. Next one is from Charles Benoni Okain. I fully support President John Mahama's position on doctors' demand. That's how to manage expenditure. Just trust it will work. And House of Oak won their game today. Fans are pretty excited. There's a tweet from Kofi Asare who tweets at Barista Drew. Make House of Oak sign Prof. Minte. Okay, I think they'll put that into consideration, maybe. Next tweet is from Stephen Omburibe. Right. A huge 3 points for Accra Heart of Oak. Liberty 0, Hearts 1. Let's see if they can stay afloat. I'm sure we'll be praying very hard towards that. Final tweet on Accra House of Folk is from His Rockness. And he tweets at Seboache, "Has a folk study make noise?" Shaking my head. Well, you can't blame them. They've moved out of the relegation zone, haven't they? For now. This has been What's Trending. My name is Lord Osei Asare.
Well, there you have it, mixed reactions. But let's talk about something else. How about we talk about our 58 years of independence from Britain and the fact that we are still classified as a developing nation. Even though we started with Malaysia and Singapore, those two countries have developed massively and are now part of the Asian Tigers. But it seems that Ghana just might be on her way. Finally, on Tuesday, President John Mahama hailed the National Development Planning Commission's determination to develop a framework document to serve as a long-term development plan for the country.
With the launch of this process, we commit to taking a critical look back to our record of national development, drawing important lessons from our achievements and our challenges alike. It is a process that should afford us the opportunity to have honest and open discussions of our aspirations as a people and what we need to do to realize these aspirations. As a nation, we have prepared and implemented various development initiatives over many years across many governments. Our national development agendas have often reflected short-term development priorities that tended to change from one regime to another. The process we're embarking on will yield fruitful insights and results. We're starting on a good footing by bringing together under one roof people from all walks of life and from all across the political spectrum, from different geographical, ideological, and academic domains and disciplines. Each and every one of us has something to contribute to the process by sharing our experiences, our aspirations, our resolve, and our commitment. At the end of the process, when we have all played our parts, we can be sure of our collective ownership of the outcome document.
Well, that's what he says, but do you think that we can really pull it off?
If we have a 40-year development plan and people are amassing wealth and nobody is imprisoning them, nobody is getting the money for us, what else? There will not be any need. So the most important thing is that our institutions must be strengthened, whereby corrupted politicians and officials, whoever, should be jailed. I believe if we change our lifestyle, this 40-year development plan, we can even use 10 years to do it. And it will work out like Malaysia and co.
Why don't we achieve that those previous plans before thinking of the 40-year development plan? So I think that the plans they've already said, let them accomplish those plans first before we take that 40 years development.
I think it should have a legal backing from at least Parliament should come out with a law on that, so that no government can alter anything. They should just have to follow it up and implement it, and I'm sure if it does, it will help all of us.
Ghana did a temporary one, not this long term, because of the economy. Our economy is very bad because our currency is now down. So government have to look about it.
All right, so Samson Arizi says, I look forward to the 40-year plan to be implemented. Ghana will now compete with developed nations. And other comments coming in also on the 40-year plan are okay, please add your name if you send in your comments. But people are asking if the doctors are out to save lives or save money. So, we'll be taking a quick break, and when we come back, we'll be talking about documentaries that win awards, communities that have lived in terror, and the police that are stepping up to the plate. Junior Loves Camry is wondering if the various parties can do a copy and paste of the National Development Plan and incorporate it into their manifestos. I don't know, Junior. I'm sure we'll find out. But let's talk about Alaba, which is a popular spot in the Ashanti region, known to be a safe haven for drug addicts. Today, it was razed down, not by fire, but by the Drugs Enforcement Unit of the Ghana Police Service. Now, the police destroyed all wooden structures in the area and carted away the belongings of suspected drug peddlers, and then went further to ask landlords of the place to support police efforts. This seems to be just the beginning. Now, apart from the man in the white jersey, who is the commander of the Drug Enforcement Unit, the rest, I have been told, are residents of Alaba and are suspected to be addicts. Now, in case you're wondering why this is such a big deal, let me show you Alaba before the police came to town. My colleague Francisca Abla de Souza produced an award-winning documentary on the community of Alaba. Here are some snippets.
My community today is coming to you from the Menchia South constituency, the Efiakobi electoral area, popularly known as Alaba. The problems of this community range from sanitation, drug abuse and drug use, and the existence of drug peddlers, as well as the issue of sanitation.
The drug issue has been here. I don't know when it started, but we've all been here. You know, our brothers and sisters are doing it. There's no denial about that. Our friends, our colleagues, some of us are lucky that we are not engaged in such things.
If you just pass this corner, you can see the drug addicts. There are more than 1,000. And nobody is taking care to know much about them and see how we can resolve this issue. And day in, day out, they are even giving birth here. They have their female, and every year they give birth to young ones, and they live here still.
That one is just, they don't even hide it. It's just a normal thing in the area. But men are those selling. You will not see a woman standing there selling for people. Only men are selling.
There's an untiled road here, which for 20 years is called No Man's Land. No Man's Land, they have owned the place. When you see the road, you can see the name suit it. So when the road is tied, I don't think somebody can stand on the road which is tied to own it, because the car, always the movement of the vehicles will deprive the person from staying there.
Where angels fear to tread, my colleague Francisca Abla de Souza went and produced that award-winning documentary that I'd like to think inspired the Ghana Police Service to do something about the situation in Alaba. Stephen is back, so why don't we join him? So, Joy News gets results. How you feel?
Yeah, good. That's all I can say. Good. Yeah, it's a wrap. David says it's a wrap.
Yeah, David likes doing that. But that's all we have for this edition of Joy News Interactive. My name is Jennifer Jane Asante.
And mine, Stephen N.